Today's video, malicious compliance. I reversed a malicious compliance. This happened years ago when I used to work at an office as a front desk one summer during college. A video I saw today just reminded me of the incident. One day this lady came in to pay a fine. She was very rude and angry about her fine. I don't know the particulars because all I did was work the front desk. She decided to try a little malicious compliance. Her fine was about $250 and she said she was going to be paying in quarters. I knew I had to comply since we're supposed to accept any legal tender. I took the bags from her but realized that she had unrolled every single roll of quarters. She said that since we want to waste her time with a stupid fine, she will also waste our time. I tried to explain, begged her not to do this to me since I had nothing to do with her fine. She didn't care and said that we're all evil. She smirked and said one band, one sound. I realized then that there was no reasoning with her. I was furious, but I began counting one by one. We were interrupted by multiple phone calls and customers, so I had to restart a few times. She started to realize how long this would really take. She tried to stack the quarters to help me count faster, but I told her that it was my job. That I couldn't just take word that the stacks were correct, so I had to do it one by one like she asked for. Two others came, paid and left while she was still standing there. She started getting mad saying that I was wasting her time on purpose. I told her that we don't have a coin counter, so this is how long it would take. She threatened to call the police. I told her to go ahead, that I'll have to restart when the police gets here so I can be sure to get an accurate count. After someone else came and left, she finally snapped. She whipped out her credit card and paid. As she was leaving, she snatched one of the bags of the counter, but the handle gave way, spilling all the coins all over the floor. She scooped up what she could, but left a good chunk. I told her she was littering and she flipped me off. I got a broom and swept up the coins. There was about 192 quarters on the floor. When I was leaving work, I found some more in the parking lot. It wasn't a whole lot of money, but for a broke college student it was great. Of offhanded comment, I didn't know he was the CEO. Oops. One of my very first jobs was at a factory doing floor care in the office areas after they closed for day. Sweeping, mopping, stripping, and waxing, the whole works. One night I was working alone in a hallway near the main lobby, just mopping my little heart out, and I heard footsteps approaching. I had signs up, but I could tell these guys were deeply engrossed in a folder and discussing something. I really didn't want them to fall, so I called out, "Please. Be careful, gentlemen. The floor's wet and a bit slick." The guys were about even with me now, looked up, made eye contact, and laughed before responding, "Oh, we're hardly gentlemen, don't call us that." Without missing a beat or even thinking about it, I responded just as they walked past me, "If you say so, ladies, have a good night." The two burst out in hysterics, thanked me for the laugh, and continued upstairs to the conference room. Shortly after, my boss came running down the steps. Apparently he'd seen the interaction from the second floor. His eyes were white and he said, "Why would you say that?" Me, "I dunno, they said they weren't gentlemen, and to not call them that, ladies was the first thing to come to mind." Anyway, that's how I called the CEO and president of the nationally recognized corporation ladies on their way to a meeting. Ex-husband ghosts ex-wife, racks up a huge bill. He clearly didn't think things through. My compliance was malicious for the ex-husband. I'm working in the billing queue in a call center for one of big three telcos, and a client calls in regarding a billing concern. This lady calls in, is puzzled by why she got charged a one-time fee $49 for a wireless access point. It's Gen 1 equipment for wireless set-top box for optic TV. She's even more puzzled, why would she have the charge when she doesn't have TV services from us? And I inform she does, it started more or less a month ago. She's disputing that because optic TV isn't available in her area. Now I'm confused. She lives in a small town, and there's no optic TV there. I do a little digging and find out that someone, no ex-husband, was still her on account and got 3-year contract to get a free TV for optic TV and internet. She begins to cry on the phone and tells me her now ex-husband had an affair with a younger woman, divorced her, milked her for as much as he could, and apparently still is milking her for more. He totally ghosted her. moved to Alberta, changed his email, phone number, blocked her on all social media, etc. In my mind I'm like, what a dickhead. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, if you cancel the services you're on hook to pay for cancellation fees and so on. I can tell her though, I can remove his access to your account and you can also add on a password, downgrade the internet and TV to the bare essentials, and I can attempt to redirect the TV gift from his address to hers, but there's no guarantee as it's been processed already. I can hear the light going off in her head. Wait, what? You have where he's living at now? Why, yes. He's got TV and internet services, so there's a service address. She goes really quiet, says her lawyer and herself have been trying to track him down, but his family and friends are being tight-lipped about it. She asks if I'm allowed to give that info to her. I smile and reply, this is your account. You have unrestricted access for service address, phone numbers, emails that your now ex-husband provided to us to get hooked up. She asks that I can give her his new address, his new cell number, and the second number left on the account, presumably the new woman, and contact info over the phone right now. I asked if she had a pen and paper handy. She was so ecstatic. And after giving her all the details from her account regarding the second service address, downgrade everything, and he was a hockey fan, and there was a game playing right now with his team, so I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when the game cuts out and he calls in to ask what the heck and discovers has been removed and there's an account pin and he's been discovered by his ex-wife and lawyer. You want to speak to the man of the house? Okay. A coworker reminded me this week about a case of malicious compliance that took place at my job a few years ago. I work for an old historic house museum. It's in a neighborhood, but is very clearly not a home with signage, etc. The doorbell rang, so I left my office with the expectation that I'd be leading a tour, and when I opened the front door, it was a mid-20s couple looking very nervous. They didn't ask for a tour right off, so I lead with, "How can I help you?" The guy responded, very formally, "May I speak to the man of the house?" I was gobsmacked. Did he think I was a butler? Did they think this was a residence? I wasn't even sure how to answer. My coworker suggested too late I should have responded that he's been dead since 1761. So I just asked what they needed. They needed a jump, and when I opened the door, they assumed I wouldn't know how to jump a car due to my breasts getting in the way. The thing was, there was one man on site that day. My boss at the time was very smart, very capable, but a bit of a gay stereotype. He could tell me everything that Jackie Kennedy ever did, but often spoke to me about his ongoing issues with knowing nothing about cars and getting taken advantage of at shops. Cue malicious compliance. I told them I would be thrilled to introduce them to the man of the house and told them to enter the side door and ask for him for a jump. I waited upstairs and several minutes later heard shrieks of laughter coming from his office. The only person with cables on site was our ops manager, who was, surprise, female. He sent them next door and she got them fixed up and on their way. Still makes me chuckle. Roommate decides to start cooking for himself and learns about cleaning pans. This is fairly mild, and I'll give some backstory, TLDR at the bottom. My boyfriend and I have lived with our roommate, BF's friend, for 2 years. Obviously, since we're friends we hardly have issues and things go smoothly. Last month my roommate said that after our lease he'd be moving in with his girlfriend. We're very happy for him, but he can't cook very well and surprisingly she's worse. This hasn't been a problem. Usually we do the cooking, and he'll eat with us or order out. I think he realized that in a few months he'll be doing the cooking at his new place and decided to try to learn. His cooking is slowly improving, but he is only using his pans so he can practice. Problem is he only owns 2 stainless steel saucepans, and his most cooked food is scrambled eggs. Typically we don't make a stink about doing each other's dishes, as long as it's only a pan here or there, until I went to wash his egg pan with 16 layers of crusted scrambled egg on the bottom. I asked him to please use our non-stick pan for eggs and he said he can't cook for himself at his new apartment with our pans and that he would just clean the stainless one. Music to my ears. So this morning I did the dishes from our breakfast, except for his egg pan. He came back home, saw the pan and started cleaning it. It took at least 20 minutes to clean, followed by asking my boyfriend for recommendations on the best type of non-stick pans to buy. TLDR, roommate is stubborn about using his pans for cooking eggs except they're stainless steel, so he learned the hard way about cleaning eggs out of stainless steel pans. Edit, thank you for all of the cooking advice with stainless steel. My boyfriend and I are well aware, and I believe my roommate's pride gets hurt when he asks for help and hurt even more when we try to give him gentle cooking suggestions, so for now it's YouTube cooking lessons for him lol. That all folks. If you like this content, please subscribe, hit the like button, and check out my next video. Take care.